For this class, you're going to need, I'm talking to the people online or for the recording, at least one block and a strap or a scarf or a stretchy band or something like that. A towel would work as well too, okay? Okay, so this class we're going to be thinking more on the lines of what we feel when we're in poses, when we're doing things, when we're moving, where it feels sticky in places, or there's tension, or there's places that we feel stuck, okay? Because, you know, sometimes we'll move something and we'll go, oh, that kind of feels weird. I'm not sure if I can move past that. So it's like an obstacle, okay? And we can take what we're feeling in our bodies, those obstacles, and we can relate them to what's going on in our lives. So just thinking about some of the situations we get into where we feel we have an obstacle in our path. So it's the same thing, that's what's happening in your bodies, okay? And sometimes those experiences can translate from outside, what's going on out there in your life, in your world, and manifest themselves in your body. It's like, oh, you know, because it does happen, and it is truth. So just be aware of where it feels sticky, where you feel some tension, and what you can do to move past that. How do you deal with those obstacles? Okay, how you respond to them, how you react to them. So response is a softer version of a reaction. Response pauses and takes the time to think things through before reacting, right? And reaction is, you know, I see that, I'm going to turn the other way, I'm going to avoid it, or I'm going to scream at it, or I'm going to, you know, do something more aggressively. Okay, so we want to try to do more of a response action. So something a little bit softer, a little bit more gentle, a little bit more of a please, a little bit of a pause, you know, taking a moment to just think things through before reacting. Okay, so we're going to start in Tadasana. So Tadasana, we stand up. Everybody stands up. Okay, and we're just going to play around with our feet. So usually the Tadasana is hip width apart. Okay, so if you're sitting on a chair at home or wherever, if you're doing this class, you can just sit and have your feet about hip width apart. Okay, so just roll forward and back a few times, maybe side to side, just finding the feel in your feet and just the weight distribution in your feet, your toes, the ball of your foot. Oh, creak, crack, and you got there's always one spot. And in your heel. So in your feet, you have 3 points, okay? So the toes actually are for balance. But the 3 points is under that pad underneath the big toe, okay? And then the pad underneath the little toe, and then the middle of the heel. So see if you can find, so it's almost like a triangle. So see if you can find those points in your feet, and then put equal weight into those points. Okay, just take a moment. You might just have to, your feet might have to adjust a little bit. You might find you're rolling in a little bit. For some people, there's a little bit of a roll in, and some people roll out a little bit. So yeah, you'll notice how that feels in your feet. So just make a moment just to correct that. Just trying to find equal weight through both feet. Good. And then standing up nice and tall. Now, do you remember last week we had a block on our heads? So actually, let's bend down, grab that block, and stick it on your head, and see how your balance is today. Don't worry if it falls off. It's okay. This takes practice. Okay, so we're open up through the chest, and we're stacking our bones. We're stacking our joints on top of each other. So we're starting from our foundation. It's like building a house. Foundation is those 3 points. Okay, and then we move up into the ankles, and then on top of the ankles are the knees, and then on top of the knees are the hips, and then the shoulders, and the head's right between the shoulders. It's not jutting forwards, it's not moving back, it's not over towards the side, and then the crown of the head's reaching up towards the ceiling. Okay, and then reach your arms down, palms are facing forward, spread out your fingers. And then start to connect to yourself. Maybe you close your eyes, maybe you don't, entirely up to you. If you don't have a block at home, just you can use something else, or just pretend and envision that you have a block on top of your head. And then just take a few moments here just to connect with yourself. Breathe and notice. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're breathing. In a moment, how this feels. So this is really how we should be standing all the time. Not maybe necessarily with our arms reaching out like this, but standing up nice and tall like this. Our spine likes this. Let's take one big breath in through the nose. Side out through the mouth. Good, and then grab your block. And then bring it down to the ground and come back into your Tadasana. Okay, so come back to that state and just envision that you have something on top of your head. Just pretend it's there. And that same kind of feeling, just noticing. Okay, now let's start to scan the body. Notice how your physical body's feeling right now. You can close your eyes for this or not, entirely up to you. Notice anything that you feel in your body, any part of the body. And not just things that don't feel good. So things that feel good too. There's part of the body that feels really good. Yeah, we witness that. That's totally fine. We're not trying to find all our faults. We're just trying to find what we notice, any sensation that pops up. And notice what you're thinking about and any emotions that seem to surface. So that means anything, even if it's just a really fleeting passing by, like impatience or frustration or happiness or joy, or you're feeling at ease, you're feeling sad, angry, whatever it might be, doesn't matter. Just notice. Okay, let's take another big breath in. This time we're going to bend into the knees a little bit, squeeze the hands. Good. And then inhale, stretch yourself up and bring those arms all the way back up. Reach up and hands together and then down towards the heart. And then we're going to shake out the hands. And then let's shake out the feet. And then make your feet just a little bit wider. Bend into the knees a little bit. And then we're going to start to sway. Just don't hit anything. See, this is why when you have your mats only 1 or 2 inches apart, you become a little bit more intimate with your neighbors. Yeah. And sometimes you just don't want to. So you might notice that one foot is lifting up the heel. That's totally fine. You just do what you do. Just be aware of how you're moving. We're not trying to get dizzy. So if you need to slow it down, slow it down. You can stay on both feet if you want to. Just breathe through this, just notice. I'll do this a couple more times. Okay, and then once you get onto one side, you're just going to stay there for a moment. Just relax the arms. So we're kind of in a twist. You can bring both feet down if you need to. Just hold it there. Take a couple breaths, just notice. And then swing over to the other side and do the same thing. Pause for a moment. Just notice. Whatever seems to come up. And then let's do that a couple more times. Just move without the pausing. Just move. And then let's pause and stop. And then heel toe your feet back together so your ankles are right underneath your hips. Okay, and we're gonna bring those arms all the way up. You're gonna clasp your hands, point your finger points up. Okay, reaching up as high as you can. However you feel comfortable. Elbows can be bent too. So whatever you do, whatever you need to do. If you need to bring your hands at your heart, you can do so as well too. Okay, and then we're gonna side bend. Doesn't matter which way. Just as far as you can. Equal weight through both feet though. Notice which foot doesn't have as much weight. And then inhale, returning to center. And then exhale over towards that other side. Good. And then inhale, return. And then exhale, bring the arms all the way down. Okay. And then let's circle the wrists as we move all the way up. Big circles, kind of. Don't hit any of your neighbors. All the way up. And all the way down in the opposite direction. Good. And then bring those arms all the way back up. Clasp your hands in the weird way, the way that does not feel correct. And then point your fingers point up. It's going to feel very strange. And then you're going to side bend towards the opposite side the way you started. Good. Equal doesn't matter. And then inhale, lift up. And exhale over towards that other side. Good. And then inhale, lift up. And then let's circle those hands all the way down. And then circle them back up again. Good. And then connect the hands together and bring your hands together. Right. Good. And then return to Tadasana for a moment. Okay. Take a moment here. And then we're going to do cow and cat. So we're going to do it standing. Okay. So if you need to hold on to a chair or to the wall, if you need to, but we're going to bend into our knees, place our hands on our thighs. You can bend as much as you need to. You can stick out your butt a little bit. And then we're going to open up through the chest, lift the chin. That's our cow. And then exhale, round back out. Okay, that's our cat. And we're just tilting that pelvis forward and back, just warming up that spine. And we're doing it nice and slow, moving with your breath. A couple more times. And last time. Inhale, stretch yourself all the way back up. And on your exhale, you're going to do a forward bend, reaching down towards your toes. If you reach your toes, great. If you don't, doesn't matter. Okay, just let that head hang. Bend into the knees as much as you need to. When you bend into the knees, that will just help to soften the hamstrings and your lower back. Okay, and then we're going to come up halfway. So you're going to place your hands either on your shins or on your thighs. Create a nice level back. Okay, hold it there. And then forward bend again. Good. And then push into your feet and bring yourself all the way up to stand. Reaching up. And exhale, hands. Okay, and then bring your arms down by your side into Tadasana. So I was reading a study, a scientific study yesterday or the day before, anyway. And it was about, they did the study for over 10 years on twins. And they found out that when you have really strong leg muscles, that computes to a stronger brain. Isn't that interesting? So you as a skier, strong muscles, big, strong muscles in your legs, your brain health is going to be a lot better. So the more we can walk and jump and run and do yoga things like this, where we're using our muscles in our legs, that equates to better brain health. Okay, so I can't remember exactly where I remember where I saw it. When I find the study, I will send it to you. You can read all about it. But it's very, very interesting. So that was over a 10-year study, and it was with twins. Okay, so they had a control, and then anyway, they followed these people over 10 years. So very, very interesting stuff. So we're gonna get our legs a little bit stronger, so our brains are a little bit sharper as well too. Okay, to be able to deal with those obstacles that might be in our way. Okay, so we're gonna take a nice big breath in, reach up, hands together, down towards the heart, and we're gonna come into our pretend chair. So we're gonna reach our hips back. Doesn't matter how low your seat goes, okay? Now, remember when we were doing cow and cat, we did the cow and then we did the cat. So we want our spines to be midway between the two. So we want a neutral spine, okay? So we're pressing our feet into the ground. Those 3 points, one in the middle of the heel, one underneath the big toe, and then one underneath the little toe. Pull in your belly. So engage that, and engage your legs should be maybe shaking now. You should feel some heat. And this is also sometimes called fierce pose. Take a moment here, breathe, breathe, breathe. And then we're gonna forward bend again. Forward bend, just let everything go, let it go, let it go. You might want to stretch out your hamstrings a little bit because we contracted them. So just reach down, let the head follow as well too. And then press back into your feet and then bring yourself all the way up. All the way up. Okay, so this time as we rise up, we're gonna reach up onto our toes. So maybe one heel lifts, and maybe we just do that, or maybe you can lift up both heels right onto your tippy toes. And just stay here and breathe. And breathe. Make sure you're breathing. If you have to bring your heels down, that's okay. I'm gonna stay up here for a couple more breaths. It's okay, try to press down all 10 toes. Make sure you're breathing. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, now lower your heels down and forward bend again. Forward bend. Oh my goodness. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Hands to touch. And then bring those hands down towards the heart. And then we're gonna sit back into our imaginary chair. Now, if you're feeling really fancy, you can just think about what kind of chair you're gonna be sitting into. Maybe it's a throne, maybe something else. This is actually really, really important to be able to sit this way. Well, first of all, it's great for skiing, but it's also really important to be able to get on a little bit. Something that we all do. We all do it. Yes, sorry, it is our throne, yes. Okay, one more breath. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale, sigh it out and forward bend. Whew. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Reach up. Good. Keep the arms up here and let's get back onto those tippy toes. Back onto our tippy toes. Don't worry if you feel wiggly wobbly. It's okay. Just press those big toes down. Press the little toes down. You might be shaking. That's okay. That's just energy moving. Breathe. Good. And then lower those heels down. Then bring your hands towards your heart. And then we're going to go into tree. So bring the weight into your right foot. I'm going to mirror image you. You're going to bring the left foot up. So if you need a wall or a chair, you can use it. Or we just bring the toes onto the ground and the heel of your foot is above your ankle. Okay. Okay. So that gives you still a little bit more of like a little kickstand. Okay. And then when you feel like you have a little bit more weight, a little bit more balance, I should say, maybe you can just not put so much weight into the toes and maybe you lift your foot up a little bit more. You see my foot? Yeah, so you're like this and then maybe you can bring the foot up a little bit. And just play around with that. It's kind of like, you know, the kickstand on a bicycle. You're on the bike and you feel a little bit wobbly, so you put your foot down. And then you pick up your foot again, you ride a little bit more, and then you put your foot down. Good, make sure you're breathing. And what we're doing here is we're strengthening that right leg, making it nice and strong. Okay, take another couple breaths here. Don't worry about if you have to put your foot down. It's totally fine. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, and now let's bring both feet down. And then let's just bring the hands down, bring the feet down, and just shake out those feet. Shake out the feet. Okay, and then come back to your Tadasana again. Take a couple breaths. Okay, and then let's bring those arms all the way back up. And then let's look back onto the toes. Equal weight into the toes. Hold it here, breathe. Make sure you're breathing, really important to breathe. And then exhale, bring your heels down, hands together, down towards the heart. Okay, let's go back into tree on the other side. So the left foot pushes down, left foot pushes down, yeah, and then that right foot comes up. So again, you can start with just that, the foot on the ground, a little bit. The idea is to stand as tall as you can. So keep imagining that you still have that block on your head, and that you have really good balance. And then maybe you just lift up the toes a little bit, or maybe you bring your foot up a little bit higher. Again, you're reaching up, your bones are all stacked, one on top of another, and you're breathing. And don't worry if the foot comes up and down, up and down. Okay, so everyone switch sides, right?
Yep.
I'm mirroring you, but if as long as everyone switch sides, it's okay. Couple more breaths. Don't worry if you feel wobbly, that's okay. It's just your body trying to find balance. Okay, and then let's bring that foot down, and then let's shake. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, now what do I have? Do here now. Okay, let's bring those arms up again. We get to go back into our beautiful throne or chair again. And then exhale, bring the hands down towards the heart. This time we're going to bring the feet closer together. Okay, and then we're going to come into our chair. So we're squeezing our legs tight together, squeezing. I actually find this easier coming into a chair this way. Yeah. You feel the support with the legs to each other. Okay, now we're going to do a little twist. We're going to bring that right elbow over towards the left knee. So you might just stay upwards in a twist, or maybe you bend down. So you do what you can do. And then you're going to untwist yourself and you're going to stand up. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then exhale, bring your hands back towards the heart and sit back into your chair. Squeeze your thighs together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And now the left elbow over towards the right. So you can stay upwards if you like, or you can bend down. Up to you. Keep that neutral place in your back between the cow and the cat. And then inhale, returning to center, and stand up. Woo! And then bring those arms all the way down. Good. Shake up the legs. Creaky cracker, that's okay. Creaky cracky is totally fine. Okay, let's bring our hands onto our hips. Okay, widen the feet a little bit, and let's do some circles in the hips. You can make them as large or as small as you like. Nice and light, nice and slow. So remember, those sticky places. Yeah. Any of the obstacles that you might find in the way. And just because it's an obstacle, it might be like a pothole, or maybe it's yeah, there's a lot of potholes, lots of obstacles. But sometimes maybe it's a daisy planted right in the middle of the road in our path, and that's okay. Stop and smell it. Although daisies don't smell very good. Let's say a rose instead. There's a rose in the middle of the squares, and those smell a little bit better. Then if you don't have the sense of smell, then you can just look at it because they're pretty. Okay, let's go in the opposite direction. Opposite direction. Round and around. You're breathing, noticing those places that get a little stuck. You might notice that one side is a lot easier to turn around than the other side. And this side is a lot more difficult for me. And sometimes it's because of an old injury. Sometimes it's just the way you're built, just the way your hips are. Couple more times round. And then stand yourself up again. Bring your arms down, take a moment. Okay, so now we're going to do eagle. I think we've done eagle before. Yep. Yes, I think we have. Okay, so we're going to start with our right leg planted. The bend into our knees. okay? This is why we did chair first, because chair is kind of prepped for eagle. We're kind of bending, and then we're gonna take that left leg and we're gonna cross it over top, okay? So we can do it at the ankle or the shin, or we can go up a little bit higher, or maybe you wanna bring your leg up so you're standing on one foot. Up to you, okay? So we're just gonna hold this for a moment. Arms can go wherever you like, or maybe they would come together by your heart. I actually find it better having my hands connected. It just gives me better balance. So take a moment here. Just notice what you notice. Breathe. Good. And then untwist yourself. Good. And again, shake it out. Shake it out. Who's getting a little warm? Do you open some windows in here? You want to open that one? Linda, do you want to open that window? Here. Just because we get a little bit of air flowing here. Shoe fly shoe. Okay, so let's try the other leg. So plant your left foot into the ground, bend into your knees, take your right leg and cross it over. Now again, it can be at the ankle or the shin or higher up. Okay, and maybe you lift up your foot. Maybe you can bring your leg around the back and then bring your hands to your heart. If that works for you, if it doesn't, do something else with your arms. And just find some balance here. Again, we're trying to stand up as tall as we can, but still kind of have that neutral spine. Okay, somewhere between a cow and a cat. It's okay, we're always stronger on one leg than the other leg. That's totally fine. Okay, now let's let that go. Shake it out, shake it out. Okay. Okay, so let's give our legs a break for a moment. We're just gonna do the arms. Okay, so eagle arms, we're gonna bring our arms out wide, and then we're gonna cross the right arm on top of the left. So we can cross it again, just like the legs, at the wrist, the forearms, or the elbows. And then we bend and we either bring the back of the hands together, or maybe we can look around and bring the palms together. So you do you, you do you. My favorite. Yeah. So you're just gonna feel an opening through the back of your body. Okay, we're standing up nice and tall. Doesn't matter where all the hands are, just kind of we're squeezing the arms together. Okay, so we feel more openness into our shoulder blades. Everyone should feel that. Okay, so just take a moment here. And then we're gonna move them up and down a couple times. So just be aware of how this feels. You might not be able to move them up very high, okay? So we're gonna lift up those elbows as high as you can without pain, and then bring them back in. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back down. 1 more time. Inhale up. Good. And exhale down. Good. And then undo the arms, shake them out. Take a moment. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Just notice the obstacles that you noticed there. And then let's do the other side. So open up your arms again. And then this time the left arm over top of the right. So either at the wrist, the lower arm, or the elbow. And then either the back of the hands together, or twist around a little bit more of the palms together. Okay, wherever they are, they are. You just hold this, feel the opening in through your back. Okay, and breathe, good. You hear some breathing happening. Try to keep as calm as you can. Okay, now 3 times, let's lift up those elbows. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Again, we're standing up as tall as we can. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. 1 more time. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Good. And then let's unwind those arms. And bring them down. Okay, take a moment, shrug your shoulders, wiggle around, do whatever you need to do. Okay, we're going to try to put that together now with the legs. Okay, oh boy, that's okay. Okay, so let's start with the legs first. So bend into the knees, and we're going to take that left leg and cross it over. Again, you do what you need to do to find your balance. The toes might be on the ground, you might be able to get all the way up, doesn't matter. Okay, so find your balance there. Okay, so now we brought that left leg over top of the right. So now we're gonna bring the right over top of the left for the arms. So you do you wrists, forearms or elbows, back of the hand, or palms of the hands together. And again, we're standing up as tall as we can. Okay, and we're breathing. It's okay. And if you're having trouble with one or the other one you don't like or you can't focus, just do one, either the arms or the legs, and just imagine that you're doing the other ones. Okay? So if you're doing the legs, just imagine you're doing the arms. If you just can do the arms, just imagine you're doing the legs. Totally fine. Now let's take one more breath here. Good. And then let's undo the arms, undo the legs. Whew, shake it out. Oh boy, yeah. Well, just think about how much stronger you're getting. Just think how much smarter you're getting. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the other side now. So bend into the knees. We're going to move towards on the left side now. So the right leg is going to come over. So the more of the weight is mainly into that left leg. Okay, so find your balance here. Okay, and then we're going to do the arms. So this time the left arm over top of the right. So either at the wrist, the forearm, or the elbow, back of the hands, or the palms of hands together. And find your balance. Again, what happens on this side is going to be different than what happens on the other side. So paying attention to how you're breathing, what you're feeling, what you're noticing, any sensations, any blockages or obstacles or stickiness somewhere. And that might just be, it might not just be in the physical body, it might be mentally as well too, right? Or somewhere with your emotions. It could be absolutely anywhere. So just notice. Okay, under the breath. Good, and then unwind, and then just give yourself a little shake up. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves into a star. So we're going to turn one way so we have the length of our mats. We're going to bring our feet out as wide as we can with our toes pointed towards the corners. Okay? And we're going to bring our arms up. So we're a 5-pointed star. Spread out those fingers. See, I know most people are wearing socks. See if you can spread out your toes. So as much as you can, even though there's the obstacle of the socks in the way, still see if you can spread out your toes as much as you can. Spread out your fingers. Okay, and we're still standing in somewhat like a Tadasana style. So the head is between the shoulders. Okay, and the shoulders are over top of the hips and somewhat over top of the knees, although the knees are kind of splayed out. So equal weight through both feet. Take a few breaths here. You can close your eyes if you feel balanced. You don't have to though. Couple breaths. One more breath. Good. Then bring those arms down, bring the legs down. Let's give ourselves another little shake. Okay, we're going to get onto the ground. So, yeah. So we're going to stand in Tadasana to begin with. So we're going to work really, 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 really hard on trying to get onto that ground without using our hands. Oh, it's possible. That doesn't mean you can't use your hands. Okay. I said try. I said try. But again, you do it in a safe manner. If it doesn't feel safe, you use your hands. Okay. 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 So my suggestion, I'm going to give you a couple of different variations. Okay. Cross your legs and then sit down. Okay. Okay. There's that option. Okay. Another option is bring one knee down and then the other knee down and then sit yourself on the ground. Okay. So if you know of another way, there's some other ways about kind of going in a spiral and you kind of squat down and then you sit. So there's that way as well too. If you can do it that way, then which is great. So you do you. Find a way to get down onto the ground. Try not to use your hands. That's okay. Just do what you do what you can do, and don't don't judge yourself. If you need to use your hands, totally fine. It just takes a lot of practice. It just takes practice. Practice and practice and practice. Practice and practice and practice. I suggest you practice this as much as you possibly can. As much as you possibly can. It's for health and safety. Okay? Health and safety. And if you're injured, it's a totally different thing. If you're injured, totally different. But for health and safety, yeah. Okay. So we are on the floor and we're sitting. Okay, so we're going to go into Janu Asana. I know this is kind of a weird one. Anyway, we're going to extend your right leg out. And then we're going to bring the left foot into your inner thigh. If it doesn't want to go up that high, you can bring it down here to your shin, your calf area. Okay. You can put a block underneath your leg. Okay. If it's too high, put it somewhere where you feel supported. Okay. So now, if you feel like you're tilting in your spine and your pelvis, maybe sit on a knee pad or a towel or something, just so you have that little bit of a pelvic tilt, so the lower pelvis is tilting backwards. Okay, so you feel like you're a little bit more lifted through your spine here. Okay, good. So sitting up nice and tall. Okay, so then we're going to bring our arms up, and your toes, your right toes are facing the ceiling. Good. I'm just holding it here for a moment. And you can always, if it feels too tight underneath your knee, your right knee, you can always put something like a block underneath there or something else or a towel or whatever, okay? And then we're gonna just, from our hip flexors, which is where we're supposed to bend, we're not supposed to bend in our backs, we're supposed to bend here. We're gonna just go forward. As far forward as you can without rounding the back. Without rounding the back. Okay, go as far forward as you can. Then round your back and come down. Okay, and you can go as far as you can go. If you can reach your toes, great. You reach your knee, great. You reach your shin, great. You just reach your thigh, great. You just do what you do. Okay. And take a few moments to breathe. Okay, and then we're going to inhale and we're going to bring ourselves all the way up. Bring those arms all the way up. Okay, and then we're going to twist towards the left, towards that knee. Okay, so the knee, we're facing the knee as much as we can. And we're going to take that right hand and we're going to side bend and we're going to bring it down onto the leg. Maybe again, we reach towards the toes or the ankle or the shin or the knee. And then that left arm is up in the air, or maybe you bring it to behind your head. So again, you do you, wherever it feels better. And it's impinging or pinching in the shoulder area, bring the arm down. We don't have to deal with the pain. Okay, so we don't have to have pain. Just take a moment here. So you should feel this little kind of stretch, kind of from your kidneys on that left side, the side of the body. Okay, and then inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. Arms up. Good. And then hands together down towards that. Good. And then let's reach that other leg out. Let's give our legs a shake. Ooh. Yeah. Sometimes we notice the tissue around the knees a little bit. Okay, sometimes that's scar tissue. Sometimes it's just fascia that's really, really, really tight just because it just gets tight. Okay, just from use or no use. Okay, so now we're going to come on to the other side. So the left toes are facing up. And that right foot is in. We can put a block underneath the thigh or the leg, however you need to. And again, we're sitting up nice and tall. The block has 3 different heights too, so you can move the block until you feel supported, however that may be. Okay. So sitting up nice and tall, you're going to feel some instigation in the core. Sitting up like this, you're going to feel some muscles. Oh yeah, because to sit up, you really need to use your core muscles. Okay, let's bring those arms up again, and we're going to hinge from your hip flexors, and we're going to go forwards. Just as far forward with a nice long back first. The back is nice and level, and then we round out, and we can bring our hands down. to the leg or to the toes. And we're not trying to torque anything. We're not trying to pull and grip. We're keeping it nice and soft. Gravity will do the work here, really. Okay. And then let's inhale and bring ourselves all the way up. Bring those arms all the way up with you. And then we're going to twist towards that right knee. Okay, so you might notice a little twist here. Try not to allow the foot, the left foot, to twist too. Keep those toes up. And then we're going to take that left arm and we're going to reach down towards the toes or towards the leg. Okay, and then that right hand can either lift up, or maybe it comes to the back of the head, or maybe it comes down by your side, just depending on what's happening in your shoulder. And just take a couple breaths here. Don't force it. Gravity will take you down as far as you need to go down. And take a couple breaths. Okay, and then inhale, bring yourselves all the way up. How come my picture is paused? Why are you paused? Linda, can you see me? Linda online. Am I talking? Can you see me moving my arms? Give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up? Yes, you can see me? Okay, so it's just my picture on my computer that's, okay. Okay. What? What? Okay, all of a sudden the screen went, bleh! I'm back. I'm back. Oh my goodness, sometimes I tell you. Okay, bring your leg out, give yourself a shake. And then you're gonna roll yourself onto your stomach. Onto your stomachs. Okay, oh, getting down on the tongue. How many of you get down onto your stomachs regularly? Only when I see them. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's come into crocodile first. So crocodiles with your arms crossed. And your forehead is just on your arms. Okay. Okay. So I don't tell them if you cannot do this, just imagine that you're doing it, but we're going to be doing something that you can do. Okay, so just take a moment here. Okay, and then we're going to reach our arms out in front of us and place our forehead down onto the ground. If you're wearing glasses, you might have to remove your glasses. Okay, and you're going to lift up your right arm. Just lift up your right arm as far as it's going to go. It probably won't go up very high, but just do it. And then bring it down. And then the left arm is going to lift up. So you can do this if you're not on your belly. You can still do this, lifting up your right arm and then your left arm. And then bringing it down. And then we're going to lift up our right leg. Just lift it up as high as it'll go without twisting. We're going to keep our pelvises on the ground. And then bring that leg down. And then the left leg is going to come up. Good. And then bringing it down. Okay, so now let's do both arms. So let's lift up both arms. Keep your head down, just your arms, without pinching or anything. And then bring those arms down. And then bring both legs up. Just as high as you can bring them. And then bring those legs down. Good. So just take a moment here. Come back to your crocodile. Okay, so now we're going to move over onto our right side. Okay, so you're on your right side in a fetal position. Okay, use the block underneath your head if you need to. So you're going to need your scarf or your strap for this one. Okay. Okay, so grab the scarf or the strap and put it around your foot, your ankle or your foot, up to you. Okay. Good. And then you're going to take that leg and you're going to reach it back. So what you want is you want your heel to try to move towards your buttocks. And it might not, if you feel like grabbing onto your foot, if you can reach your foot with your hand, You can use your hand, but if you need to, you keep using the strap, use the strap. Up to you. This depends on how flexible you are, okay? So the idea is to bring that heel closer towards the buttocks, okay? And so you're gonna feel a little bit of stretching happening in your quads, so the front of the thigh, okay? Yeah. So I just wanted, and it should, but it should feel as if it's a release. Okay, not necessarily good, not necessarily bad, but just a release, just like letting go of some tension in through there. Okay, you might also notice in the knee that there's some stretching happening in the knee area, because you know those quad muscles, there's ligaments and fascia connecting the quads to the knees. And so when the quads get stretched, the knees kind of feel like they're being stretched too. It's just a little bit of a pull. So let's take two more breaths here. Everyone just started breathing again. And then release it. Just release it. Take a moment. And then you're going to roll over onto your backs for a moment. Go onto your back. Take a moment here. And then you're going to roll over onto your left side this time. And I'm going to do the same. So use one or your arm underneath your head. And then take your scarf or your strap or whatever, or grab your ankle or your foot. And then you're going to bring that leg back behind you and bring the heel towards the buttocks. Now it doesn't need to touch. The idea is just to feel an opening in through your hip flexors and your quads. Okay, and you'll probably notice some opening in through the shoulder as well too. Okay, and we're not torquing it, we're not holding on so tight that we're cutting off circulation or anything. We just want that leg coming behind us and just feeling some release in through the quads. And just depending on how tight your muscles are, your ligaments and your fascia, that will determine how far back that leg goes. So just be aware of all the different sensations that are happening in the body. And we'll take 2 more breaths here. If it's too intense, just ease off a little bit. If you're not feeling too much, then allow the leg to go a little bit further back. Okay, and then let's release that and then come and lie down onto your backs. So we're going to keep the knees bent, and your arms can go wherever you like, and we're just going to do some side to side with the knees, just windshield wiping them side to side. So this is actually allowing the spine to come back to neutral. It's also helping the back, because even though we were doing the legs kind of thing, we still did some back bending in some of the postures that we were doing. So we're just bringing the back of the spine back to neutrality. We also are allowing the outside of the thighs from the hip all the way down to the knees. There's a band called the iliotibial band, which is also known as the IT band. And it can get very, very tight from walking and sitting. So this is just allowing it to release a little bit. So every time you go into a twist, you feel a little bit of a stretch. That IT band is like a elastic band that connects onto the hip and then it moves down to the knee. So if you want to take a moment just to pause on one side, doesn't matter where, just drop the knees down. Maybe you need to adjust the legs. The head can go in any direction that feels favorable to you. Just take a moment here just to notice and to relax. And then bring those knees back to center, move the legs all the way over towards the other side. And dropping them down, making any adjustments. And the head can move if you like, to you. Next breath, bring the knees back up. And we're going to move into our final rest, Savasana. So your legs can be straight, or you move your feet to the width of your mat and your knees come together into, what is this called? Oh my goodness, restorative rest. So knees bent or straight, entirely up to you. Relax the arms wherever they may be. Allowing your breath to be nice and soft. I'm not trying to control the breath here in our Savasana. Everything is just free and natural. Allow gravity to soften you. Peacefully allow your breath to deepen. And bring a little bit of awareness and movement back into your bodies. You can move your fingers and your toes, maybe your legs, maybe your arms. And when you're ready, give yourself a little stretch. Stretching is underrated. You should continuously stretch because this lengthens our whole body so that we can fight back against gravity, which pushes our spines together. Okay, and then we're going to roll over to the side. And then pushing yourself up into a comfortable seat. You sit on a block or a knee pad, or sit in any way that you feel comfortable and long and tall. Move around. Just take a moment, close your eyes for a couple moments and just notice your breath. Notice what's happening in your body. We're going to do a little kind of a breathing kind of a meditation kind of exercise. So we're going to use our hands, palms are face up. And all we're going to do is touch the thumb to each finger. Okay, one at a time. So when the thumb touches the pointer finger, this is known as sa, and that means the beginning or the start of something. Okay, when we touch our tall finger, this is ta. This means the journey or the pathway or life or action. Okay, and then na is to the ring finger, and that means to finish, the end, to be done with. Okay, and then the pinky finger is ma, and that means to begin again, to start something new. Okay, so just think about in life, we continuously start. There's always action. There's always the end of something, and there's always the start of something else. So we're going to say just together, as we bring our fingers together, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. Now we're going to try to do it in our heads, closing our eyes. And just go nice and slow, move with your breath. And slow it down and speed it up. Your hands can rest on your knees. Do that 2 more times. Now just take a moment just to breathe again and to notice. Bring your hands towards your heart. Take a moment to reflect on your practice, noticing what came out through the practice today that you noticed. Any obstacles, any stickiness, anything else that you seem to notice through your practice today, whether through your breath or through your thoughts, through your feelings, any sensations. Let's bow our head and feel grateful. Feel grateful for being here, joining each other for our practice. It really feels more energizing when we all practice together. There's a buzz in the room, and it just feels a little bit more supportive. So, but thank you, and showing up for yourself as well, and then feeling grateful for anything else that you would like to feel grateful for in this moment. There's so much to feel grateful for. But just in this moment, what can we feel grateful for? And we'll finish with one Om together. So take a breath in through the nose. Side out. Breathe in for Om. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this Sadhanama, you can use at any time when you need to find some peace within you. You need to take a moment, take a pause, so just to get something off your chest, or just to get happy again, or maybe just to calm down, or maybe to feel not so frustrated. That everything has a beginning, everything has an end, everything has an action, and you can always begin again. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody at home.